I'm Greg Lipsker. I'm one of the owners and winemakers at Barrister, along with my partner Michael White. And we're an urban winery in Spokane, Washington, located right downtown. We've been a winery since 2001. We started in 1997 with a 5-gallon kit that we bought while we were on vacation, and since then it's just kind of become the little hobby that's gotten out of control. This year we'll release about 3,500 cases of wine, 3,300 cases of red wine, and 200 cases of Sauvignon Blanc.
How many cases of Cabernet Franc?
We'll do about 700 cases of Cab Franc.
That's been a wine that has really put you on the map and has helped elevate the status of Cabernet Franc as a variety in the Northwest. Talk a little bit about that.
Okay, well, we were very fortunate. Our first Cab Franc was actually a problem child. We weren't sure what we were going to do with it, and so we started blending. And it was through the blending process that we hit upon the blend that worked for us by putting a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon from both the Pepperbridge and Bacchus vineyards with that magical fruit from the Sheldon Pleasant vineyard, and it just lit it up. And as I say, we weren't sure what we were going to do with that with the first batch, but the blending process is what made that wine.
Now, have your sources been consistent, and the percentage been about the same for the 04, 05, 06 and beyond?
Yeah, we've added just a little bit of Weinbau fruit to our Weinbau Cabernet Franc to our Sheldon Pleasant Cab Franc, but it's the Prosser Cab Franc has really been the staple of that. Each year blended with just a little bit of Pepperbridge and just a little bit of Bacchus Cab Sauv.
Okay. And, talk a bit about your facility here. It's pretty remarkable.
It's a neat old building. It's a 100-year-old warehouse. We actually discovered this when we were evicted from our first location. We were in about 1,500 square feet near the arena, and we got an eviction notice right before Crush. You'd think that two attorneys could write a lease where they wouldn't be evicted, but no, it didn't work that way. So it's turned out to be one of the best things that happened to us. We found this old building. It's 7,200 square feet on each of 3 floors, and now we've acquired another 5,000 square feet in the basement in the building next door. So it's just been a wonderful facility for us. Our barrel room, we stack things one high. We don't have to have multiple stacks on the barrel room. We have plenty of room for production, and we have a great facility here to host events, to expose people to the wines.
Mm-hmm. Now, what you do? It seems like you've got quite an influence with the Spokane art community here. Can you talk about that relationship?
Okay. Each first Friday of the month, they have an art walk downtown, and we're fortunate enough. We have huge brick walls that have been just a wonderful place for an artist to showcase his work, particularly someone who has larger works. So the first Friday of each month, we participate in that art walk. We have a different artist. When we first began, we'd have 30, 40 people come in on first Friday. Now we have a couple hundred people here on our first Fridays. We have blues from 7 o'clock till 10 o'clock, and food available for people. So it's really become a gathering place and a meeting place for people on first Fridays.
Okay. And then tell me the story again about your relationship with Miles Anderson and how that's gotten you to where you're at.
Miles is our mentor. We owe if we've been successful to this point, we owe it to Miles Anderson. Our relationship goes back to 1972 when I was an undergraduate and he was the dean of students at Gonzaga. He taught me my first wine appreciation class. When Walla Walla Vintners became a winery in 1995, I did the legal work for them to become a bonded wine facility. When we began home winemaking in '97, we started with a 5-gallon kit. And in 1998, we called Miles and asked if we could come get a few grapes from him so we could try to make some wine from grapes. So he invited us to come down and bring a bucket. So we went down to Walla Walla Vintners thinking we were going to come back with 40 to 50 pounds of fruit. And the first trip we came back with 700 pounds of fruit that Walla Walla Vintners and Leonetti were using to make their Cabernet Sauvignon. So as home winemakers, we started off with some of the finest fruit in the state of Washington. So.
And then you guys do a really nice job of showcasing vineyards in Eastern Washington. Can you talk about, let's talk about that Dwelly Merlot that did so well at the Wine Summit.
Oh, that Dwelly Merlot is just fabulous fruit. It just has, it was our first year. It was really, for us, it was really difficult. It was a wine that was full of clove and cinnamon and spices, and we couldn't blend it with anything. We couldn't blend anything with it, so we just bottled it. And in February, and in May, it just, the spice went away, and this beautiful raspberry fruit came forward. It's just been a special vineyard for us. And we just so appreciate the fact that we're in some of we think the finest vineyards in the state, that for us it's an honor to be able to put the vineyard designate on our bottles of wine.
And you're more than just red. You do a nice job with that Clipson Sauvignon Blanc. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Okay, the Sauv Blanc we started to do because we started to do events at the winery, and we either had to have a white wine of our own or we had to promote someone else's wine at our functions. So we started off with some wine from the Clipson vineyard. That's our sole source of Sauvignon Blanc, and it's just wonderful fruit. It makes a big mouth-filling Sauvignon Blanc that we just think is very special. It's an old fruit and aged 100% in stainless steel with a yeast that we found that's used to ferment yeast, the Sauv Blanc in Spain from hot climates. So.
And yet you've changed the style a little bit on that from 07 to 08. Is that correct?
We did change the style. We went from a bone dry style, which we really liked, to a style with just a titch of residual sugar left. We think that makes it much more food friendly, and it gives us a wider range of foods that it's going to be really compatible with.
Oh, can you talk about the name, Barrister?
Barrister. Well, my partner Michael and I in our other lives are both attorneys. So barrister is a British term for an attorney. So as we were looking at names, we were at a loss of what to come up with. So we figured we'd call it Barrister until we came up with something better, and it's been a godsend. It's been a great name for us, and it's been a lot of fun.
Okay. Now, you're on Railroad Avenue, and a couple of trains passed by on my way, well, during my time here. But that's, I think, for people that live in Spokane, have grown up here, it adds a little charm to the place. I mean, it is kind of a little bit of the history of the place.
Oh, it is, and we're in a funky alley downtown with a railroad that goes right above the winery. When you come down to our barrel room, as we go through a tour in our barrel room, when the trains go by, we'll put your hand on the barrel, and the barrel is just barely perceptibly vibrate. So we tell people our wines are train settled. We're the only winery in the state with train settled wines. 21,000 times a year they're gently shaken, not stirred. You know, I think I just have to give all the credit in the world to my partner Michael. You know, he's just a great partner. We work well together, and I can't think of anyone I would rather be in business with than my best friend.
Okay. Now, are you the full-time winemaker, and that's your focus now?
I'm full-time here at the winery, but Michael is still a winemaker right alongside with me. Okay. So we collaborate on all the decisions, and we are both the winemakers.